Just wanted to follow up with some trip data for my trip to Chicago. I was planning on using the actual invoices from my stops. However, I haven't been billed for a couple of them yet. I'm not sure why. One of them on the way out gave me an error when I stopped. I stopped the charger from the actual station, and an hour later my app was still saying it was charging, and my app kept on popping up every notification and saying charging, charging. I had to actually put a ticket in for them to cancel that, to stop that. So it was not actually charging anymore, and nobody could actually get a charge off of it. I wasn't being billed anymore, as far as I know, because it said charging, but the charge rate was $0 or 0 kilowatts. So that was one of them. And on the way back, I stopped at another different charger, and I have not seen a charge for that yet. So they could show up. I wanted to use real data just because every charger is a little different in price. Time of the day can matter, etc. So I'm going to use calculated data for this. So let's start off with what you're seeing on the screen, the trip data to Chicago. It's 575 miles. I averaged 1.7 kilowatts, miles per kilowatt. I always get that wrong. So that averaged out to 338.2 total kilowatts used. And on the way back, you can see that it was about 274 kilowatt hours used on the way back. So if we look at the actual costs, did some rough math here. So to Chicago, the first 187 kilowatts was from my home charger. 84%, if you recall, battery charge that was charged at my charger. 84% of 220. Again, I'm using rough numbers, assuming that there's 220 available. At 8 cents for me, that's $14.96. The rest of it I put at 53 cents per kilowatt hour. So that gave me the 78.64 for the rest of the trip to Chicago, including driving around in town, and then back to Chanhassen, 274 kilowatts, using the fact of I average 1.6, so that's 145.28. Gives me a total dollar amount of 238.88 calculated. I did have, we went out for drinks one night, had the car parked there for 2.5 hours, did a slow charge, at 6.6 kilowatts per hour. So yeah, I got some 20 kilowatts, maybe at a cheaper rate. That's not going to really sway this that much. So, and then I took this and I compared it to some ICE vehicles. Again, I used just some generic numbers, but as you can see there for the EV, my EV in this trip, it was 23.5 cents a mile. I also did an estimate with, I own a Canon, 2016 Canon. I can get 28, 29 on the road, but I did again take the fact that I drove around Chicago, plus had a pretty hefty headwind coming back. So on the low side, I did 20 miles a gallon. Gas or diesel right now is $3.41 in the area roughly. So that came up with 17 cents per mile for a total of $172 if I would have driven the diesel. And then I did a comparison on a full-size Sierra. Again, gas at roughly $3 in the area, and the miles per gallon, I went on the low side again, 16. You might be able to get a little more than that on a good day, but again, it was cold, etc. So those are my totals, as you can see. And I did this not to compare the fact that, hey, EVs cost more. That wasn't my whole purpose of that. So we know that the ICE vehicles require some different maintenance. We have to do oil on those, right? We have different types of braking in them. I don't even know if I know we have regenerative in our vehicles, but are there still brake pads? I don't know. So I haven't paid that much attention yet. But I think, we still don't know all the actual costs that we're going to come across with this EV vehicle. The GM probably has some projected, but it's still pretty new technology. And I love this vehicle. I don't care that it costs me, $50 more than my other vehicle to drive this, just because of the comfort and value of it. So, but I did want to put that out there. I mean, if you are looking at from a cost standpoint, That's why you're going to want to look at different scenarios as far as how can I do destination charging at hotels or RV parks if I'm going to be there for a while to get a good charge. Do I want to charge at night? Some of these actually have rates that are lower at night. Depending on how much traveling you do, you can sign up for programs within, I believe, Tesla and I think all of them, EVgo and Electrify America, all have, like, if you sign up and pay $7 a month or $12 a month, you get a much different rate. I don't do enough of that, so if you do have that, that's something you might want to look at if you're going to do a bunch of traveling. So just some numbers. I'm going to keep doing some additional evaluation over time and checking in on it and seeing how it's going. But here's my data. If you have any questions, put it in the comments, or if you want to blow it away and say I did it all wrong, that's fine too. So have a great one. Thanks.